Welcome back to another episode of Teachers in Transition, the podcast and the YouTube channel. My name is Kitty Boitnott, the owner of Boitnott Coaching, LLC, and the founder of teachersintransition.com. If you've listened to me at all in the past, you know that I alternate topics. One week, I will talk about stress management and stress relief strategies. At this alternating week, I talk about career transition, because the main focus of my business is helping burnt out teachers who are ready to make the leap into some new kind of job or career. But I'm also a certified stress management coach, and that's why I offer the alternating topics. This week, the topic is stress, and what I would like to do is share with you some of the strategies that I ran across in an article that I'll share the link to. This is from Healthline, and the author actually wrote this particular article a couple of years ago in August of 2018. Kerri-Ann Jennings, MSRD, from Healthline. The title of this particular post is 16 Simple Ways to Relieve Stress and Anxiety. And I'm thinking that even though this is summertime and generally a time when teachers in particular are enjoying some time off, some time with friends, perhaps taking a vacation, this summer is certainly not typical and not something that you probably have ever experienced before, because no matter where you live in the country, you've been impacted in some way, shape, or form by COVID. All of us have been impacted, whether we're subject to having the virus ourselves, or knowing someone, or simply following the guidelines in an effort to avoid picking it up. That we've all been impacted. And some of us have been impacted in greater degrees than others. Teachers certainly were impacted when schools shut down and almost overnight went to remote learning. And now that we're past July 4th, there's a lot of conversation all across the country about how to start school back, when to start school back, what does it look like, how do colleges and universities get back up and running after closing down in March. And there's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things we still don't know about how to navigate in this world of COVID. So the reason I wanted to talk about this particular article today is that it offers some very important and basic strategies for managing your stress, whether you're feeling high levels of stress and anxiety, or whether you just experience a low level of, you're just not sure exactly what's going to happen come this fall. And some of these strategies are simple, and I've talked about many of them before, but it's always good to remind people. So first of all, exercise is probably the number one thing you can do to help relieve your stress. You need to be able to work off some of the stress. It'll help you to sleep better. It will help you to relieve the stress that builds up over time, manage the stress hormones that are probably high right now. And it can also help to build your confidence. If you develop an exercise routine that you can stick to, it certainly helps to build your sense of self-esteem. So exercise is extremely important, even though that may feel like a contradictory piece of advice when you're feeling so stressed out. You do need to do something every single day. And if you're in good health and able to, walk every day, or to go to the, going to the gym is a problem for some folks around the country, but you can always find workout routines that you can do at home, including strength exercises and yoga for stretching and stress relief. So exercise is the number one thing that this particular article recommends that you consider. She also is recommending some supplements that might help. And she mentions in particular lemon balm, omega-3 fatty acids, ashwagandha, which is an herb, green tea, and I drink lots of green tea each day. Valerian can be useful. And she also mentions kava kava, which I admit I'm not familiar with. She says it's a psychoactive member of the pepper family, long used as a sedative in the South Pacific. It is increasingly used in Europe and the US to treat mild stress and anxiety. So you might want to check out those and learn more about them. As with anything else, what I would recommend is before you start taking a supplement, check in with your doctor to make sure that it's not contradictory to some medication that you may be taking, or that it wouldn't hurt you in some way that you might not be familiar with. I believe in supplements, but I also believe that you need to let your doctor know when you're taking things. She also recommends aromatherapy, including lighting a candle or essential oils, and some of the scents that are soothing, especially soothing, include lavender, rose, Roman chamomile, frankincense, and geranium. So you might want to check some of those out. She recommends that you reduce your coffee intake. And that's a hard one for me because I love my coffee in the morning. But reducing caffeine can be an important step to take if you are experiencing high levels of stress. Write it down, journal about what you're going through, how you're feeling. Getting it out on paper sometimes can help to relieve the stress. And I'm a big believer in journaling during times of stress. She recommends that you might even chew gum to help relieve some of your stress. Spend time with friends and family. Now, remember, this particular article was written in 2018, so before the time of COVID and the need to social isolate. You can still keep up with family and friends, however, whether they are able to be in the same room with you or not. I've been keeping up with my circle of friends through virtual happy hours, attending virtual Toastmasters meetings each week. I just had a Zoom chat with my brother and sister yesterday because we're spread pretty thin distance-wise, and we've decided that traveling together to be together in person is not really essential at this particular point in time. So it's still possible for you to spend quality time with your family and friends through Zoom, FaceTime, all the other platforms that are available. Stay connected with Facebook and Twitter or Instagram, whatever your preference is. She recommends that you don't forget to laugh. You know, we need the stress relief of a good, healthy belly laugh. So watch a funny movie or find someone that I particularly like some of the folks that I have found to follow on Twitter and Facebook. So find somebody that tickles your funny bone and follow them so that you can laugh on a regular basis. She recommends, and I'm a big proponent of this one too, learn to say no. When people ask you to do things that you really don't have time for or you're really not interested in doing, instead of giving in to a sense of obligation or trying to be a people pleaser, just say no. You'll learn over time that the world doesn't come to an end if you decline an offer to take on something else. So learn to say no. That's an important one. Setting healthy boundaries is a particularly healthy habit to develop. Learn to avoid procrastination. You know, some people wait to the last minute to do things simply because they can, and they get kind of an adrenaline rush by waiting till the last minute, taxes come to mind, or turning in, some important paperwork. But you can avoid the stress by going ahead and handling those details earlier and getting them done sooner rather than later. She recommends too that you might enjoy taking a yoga class. Again, with social distancing, that might not be as easy to find an in-person group, but you can always find things that are available on TV or your computer, DVD, not DVDs anymore, I guess, but streaming yoga classes. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is becoming more and more accepted as a practice that we all benefit from. And in fact, there are many teachers who are learning about teaching mindfulness to their students. It can help students to self-monitor themselves, to self-regulate themselves, and help them to manage their emotions more in a more healthy manner. If you have a child to cuddle with or a pet to cuddle with, she recommends cuddling. If you have a partner to cuddle with, cuddling, hugging, personal touch is important. Listening to soothing music can also help you to reduce your stress. Remembering to breathe deeply all the way into your diaphragm. And I think I've mentioned this in a previous episode, but I worked with a breath expert not too long ago. And the recommendation was, instead of breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, which is what we've generally been taught, you should breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, not out through your mouth. It has something to do with oxygenation. So in through your nose, out through your nose. Here's pet therapy. And the final recommendation is, and I mentioned cuddling with your pet, but spending time with a cat, a dog. I had a friend a long time ago who had a ferret. Whatever is your cup of tea, if you have a pet, spend some quality time with that pet. They will love it, and so will you. The bottom line is, you need to find what works for you to help you minimize the stress that you may be feeling with everything that's going on in the world right now. And let's face it, there's a lot of stuff going on. The pandemic would be bad enough, but then there's the financial stress. And a lot of teachers, I suspect, have lost jobs that were second jobs that were helping to supplement their salary, like waiting tables or bartending, or any of the retail jobs, many of the jobs that teachers take on as a second job to supplement their income. If those jobs have gone away, then there's financial stress that's going on in addition to the pandemic stress. And then there's the social unrest, the racial unrest, the uncertainty around racial relations. And I've been reading this summer that a lot of teachers are requesting more training so that they can avoid making some of the mistakes in the way they speak about race that would unintentionally hurt a child of a different race or a colleague of a different race. We need to become more literate about race. And that's whether you're white or not, you need to know about how to talk about race. I recently read the book White Fragility, and I'm really grateful that I did. So if that is an interest of yours and something you want to become more knowledgeable about, then I highly recommend White Fragility for you. So that's it for today. I will post the link to the article that I referred to in today's message, and I will also offer a link to the White Fragility book that I've just mentioned. what I want to say to you is take care of yourself. Whatever works for you that helps you to relieve your stress, do that for yourself. We're in this pandemic business for the long haul, I have a feeling. And there's not going to be going back to normal. We need to adapt to the new normal. And I know that's stressful. But we need to each one take care of ourselves so that we can continue to take care of each other. So stay well, be safe. Thank you for listening. If you have questions or would like to comment on today's session, please feel free to do that. Leave a review. If you have a question, email me at kittyboitnott@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great week. I'll be back next week.